It's a sports car that doubles as a daily driver. Exotic lines with a domestic price tag. Today we find out if jorts and dad sneakers still make sense for this mid-engine monster. Welcome to 303 Car Care, I'm 𝑭𝑶𝑳𝑳𝑇. What we're driving and detailing today is a 2023 C8 Corvette 2LT in hypersonic gray with a black interior. It's the 8th generation of America's most iconic sports car brand. The C8 is the first generation to put a 6.2-liter V8 behind the passenger compartment instead of under the hood, or what is commonly referred to as mid-engine. We'll dive more into that and learn about the car's owner and his obsession with fun cars, but first things first, let's get this thing dialed in. I'm joined by 303 brand manager DJ, who's going to be doing the detailing on the C8 today. DJ, this has been fully covered with a matte wrap. Does that change the approach at all?
So it has matte PPF, but it also has our graphene nano spray coating on it. So we're just going to be doing a maintenance wash. We aren't going to be doing any polishing on it. For that, we're going to use our 𝑭𝑶𝑳𝑳𝑇 ceramic wash. We're going to use some salt neutralizing wash booster to remove any salt deposits. Then we're going to hit the wheels with spray and rinse to give those a little bit of extra protection and move to the interior.
Cool. All right, let's get to work.
Since the owner has been daily driving this during the winter, we're going to be using our salt neutralizing wash booster to help remove any salt deposits. Then for the maintenance wash, we're going to be using our 𝑭𝑶𝑳𝑳𝑇 ceramic wash to help boost the protection. So for the wheels and tires, we're going to be using the wheel cleaner on the wheels, just a little bit more of a heavier duty cleaner that will remove any of those caked on brake dust. And then we're going to be using our wheel and tire cleaner on the tires, get them ready to apply some protectant afterwards. So now that the wheels and tires are clean, we're going to be using our spray and rinse on the wheels for some added protection. It's a quick and easy way. Just spray it on the wet surface, rinse it off, and you have hydrophobic protection. It'll help keep those wheels cleaner. So for the finishing touches on the tires, the owner wanted more of a natural look, so we're going to be using our protectant. That'll help provide some superior UV protection, keep them looking like new, and prevent any dry rot. So for the interior, we're going to be using our interior cleaner. It works on any interior surface: plastic, vinyl, rubber, upholstery, glass, and even LCD screens.
That wraps up the work in the garage. About 2 hours to get this vet looking like new. DJ, any final thoughts?
Since this was PPF'd and coated, it was a lot quicker process. We didn't have to polish, we just did a maintenance wash. Overall, having your vehicle PPF'd and with the coating on it makes that process a lot quicker and easier.
Okay, now we're going to take it for a spin and find out more about the car and its owner. We're joined now by Zach Stern, a man with car EDD and in his former life, an outstanding motorsports photographer. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Real quick, what's the hardest part of keeping this C8 clean?
Well, honestly, with your guys' products, it really makes it easy. Being PPF'd, nothing really sticks to it. So wash it down, dry it off, take it back, and spend more time driving it than cleaning it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, it's a little bit cold out here. How about we jump in, take it for a spin?
Let's do it.
All right. So you've owned a lot of different cars in the past. What made you jump into a C8?
The C8, when they announced it with rear engine, and for me I thought it was a really cool way to get into a rear engine car without going Lambo, higher end, and I had the opportunity this summer to pick one up at pretty much what it cost, and I fell in love with it. The car handles like any mid-engine sports car would. It really exemplifies, I think, what they did to try and bring this car from the front to the rear, and it's just kind of a do-everything sports car. I think the ownership has definitely shifted from, the standard Corvette, the jorts, and...
Well, you don't have your jorts on?
I don't have my jorts. I don't even own a pair of New Balances. Now you've got a lot of people my age coming in with these cars, and some people embrace it, some people hate it, but it's really cool to see how the whole generation is starting to change, and what we like to do is go a little bit faster. We're modifying these things, and we're now pushing the envelope a lot faster, I think, what was done before. Again, I'm not a long-term Corvette owner, but, not a lot of people are buying these cars and slapping a supercharger on it as fast as they were prior, in my opinion.
So what all have you done to the car so far, and then what are your plans moving forward?
Yeah, so majority of it is going to be aesthetics. Of course, the car has been fully PPF'd, stealth. We've got the lip in the back, or the spoiler in the back, the lip in the front, all, in the matching colors. We've got a ton of carbon in here. The steering wheel has been swapped. Normally during the summer, I'm running HREs. We were able to drop the stock suspension as I'm on the mag ride. But performance-wise, the only thing is just the air filter. The next step is we're going supercharged. I'd like to hit 800 horsepower reliably. The torque numbers should be faster than the '06, and just keep enjoying the hell of the car.
You seem to change cars like underwear.
Yes.
How long do you plan on keeping this, or you got no clue yet?
So I never go into a car thinking I'm going to get rid of it as fast as I did. This car, I'll keep it for as long as I can. But with the new business, with why we picked this car, we're going to use it probably more for a show car. I can put a 18-year-old kid in this car and not be concerned about, is he going to hurt himself? Is he going to hurt the car? Because it's just such an easy car to drive.
What are some of the other cars that you've owned?
I do miss the RS6. I lived out of the car for 8 weeks, I think it was.
On your cross-country road trip?
Yeah. I spent 2 days at Tail of Dragon with that car. I was at, 3 IMSA races, 2 Grid Life event, and just went city to city, and it was...
a perfect road trip car.
It was the perfect road trip car, and it turned heads everywhere. I've had a bunch of BMWs, from the M2, 4 Series, M4s, X3s, X4s. Actually, my Volkswagen, my GTI, had way too much power in it. And then, no one believes me when I tell them this, but my first car that I drove when I moved to Chicago was a Fiat 500.
You fit in that?
I fit in that. I fit in that. Lived in the city, didn't really need...
Yeah, you didn't really need it.
Didn't really need much, right? For me, it's when you get a car, like a lot of people, they have that dream car, they're like, oh my God, and then they keep it in the garage. For me, it's like, I want to get the car and do whatever I can to have the most fun with it. For if it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, life's too short not to enjoy these cars.
Let's just say you have a 2-car garage, unlimited budget. What 2 cars you put in that garage?
I would say a GT2 RS, and then the second, I hate to say it, but a Ford Raptor R.
Yeah, that'd be a good choice.
So that I could tow it, I could put the bikes in it. A 2-car, that's an evil question.
What was your favorite part about being a motorsports photographer? What did you love about it?
I started Swatch Media in 2016. I was not a motorsports photographer. I was a products photographer. So one of the things that I noticed with my e-commerce business is that people really responded well to product photos. And then other people took note of that. So car companies would send me their products and say, hey, we want you to shoot photos of this. And the best part is they let you keep it, right? So with the GTI, actually, I built that car mostly on parts that I was getting from shooting them, and packaging and how they looked on the car and all this stuff. And then the company would send me a downpipe and they're like, just keep it. You know, like, okay, so now I've got the parts. Great, so we got parts, that's awesome. I'm not very mechanically inclined, so then I found shops and I said, hey, you know, if I shoot content for you, will you install my part for free? And I literally got that GTI built up out of my own pocket, maybe spent $1,000 on. I think that was for tires. When I finally got to the IMSA Pro level and shooting that series, you know, you're at the front line. You've got everything at your disposal. You can go almost everywhere. Being in the pits, in the paddock, you know, you're experiencing on a level that I don't think you could ever understand from being behind a fence. You know, so these cars are moving at such a fast rate and you're feeling it, and they're sometimes getting within feet of you. It's an incredible experience. If I could have made it work, I still would be. You know, everyone thinks I was a photographer, that was my full-time. I did it full-time in some capacity, but I still always have had day jobs and businesses and other things to supplement my lifestyle. Because I pretty much went from shooting, that's nice.
Yeah, sounded good too.
Yeah. The photography was my escape to get away from the computer that I'm in front of every day and get out and walk. I mean,
it was something you really enjoyed just doing.
Yeah, I went into it without any expectations of what I was going to do with it. I just knew that I wanted to do it and I wanted to see where I could take it. And I just started really focusing on the motorsport stuff, and it actually worked out to my surprise. I was kind of shocked. I found out I was going to be a dad. They completely cheated. I asked my thought on this, and I was like, look, I'll do this for fun, but I need to be home. I need to be with my family. And so I've had my fun. Now it's time to be a responsible adult and actually take care and provide for my family in a more consistent, less stressful way.
So looking back on all those shoots you did, is there one that really stands out that you're like, that's something I'm never going to forget?
I think my first 24 hours of Rolex, that was pretty epic. Shooting F1 Vegas for the opening event, and that was kind of one of the coolest. So it actually started at SEMA, and then I met up with another guy, who knew another guy, and it became a week of just crazy shooting, which culminated in that F1 pre-race and actually getting to shoot it for Heineken, which then, you know, next thing I know, I'm standing behind the stage with, you know, Lewis Hamilton's right here. You know, we were just there. We were in the middle of it all. And I think that was kind of, for me, the culmination of it all. It's like, wow, like if I wasn't able to shoot the photos, I probably wouldn't be standing here, but they gave me full access to whatever I want. You know, looking at the cars, sitting in the cars, you know, Daniel Ricciardo was right there. Literally right here. Trackside Vegas, or whatever thought. It was unbelievable. And I came home from that trip, I'm like, okay, if I don't have to do this again, I'll be happy to know that I've succeeded, I think, in what I was going to do.
We want to thank Zach for joining us and letting us get the C8 looking like new. A lot of the products you saw us use are available at all major automotive retailers as well as Amazon. Check them out for yourself. See you next time on 303 Car Care.